Welcome to Share Talk, the only podcast where investors come first.
Hi, this is Zach Meir with the Bulletin Board Heroes here on Share Talk for Friday the 17th of April. Starting off with Bulletin, where you can see we're a couple of days into a breakout of that resistance line from way back in 2017. The view at this stage is that at least while we're above recent 2019 resistance around the 0.8 to 1 pence zone, we can see further upside, possibly back up towards the 2 pence area, which is retesting initial 2018 resistance and also hitting the top of that rising trend channel that I've drawn. At this stage only obviously back below 0.8, killing the bull idea, and ideally we have an end of week close above a penny to cement the idea that the stock is going to keep on trucking. Next situation is cat and I, which I would describe as being the fluke of the week. I think it was covered a couple of days ago. The reason for just revising or revisiting it is that all the other spikes in the stock have actually ended in the stock eventually going lower than previously. This situation now, we're probably looking for or hoping for the stock to not retrace back further than the 0.8 to 0.9 area, which is initial February resistance. And while we do that, I suppose we could retest the 1.6 area at the top of that rising trend channel that I've drawn from the end of the year, or last year rather. On to Dev Clever, where the situation is not quite so fraught. In fact, we've had, apart from the mid-March dip, a reasonably decent progression here. The reason for calling up the chart today is that we've broken through the February high around 4.4 pence. Weekly close above that would very much set us on the road to hitting the top of a rising trend channel from the end of September, currently heading up towards the 8 pence level. That could be seen over the next 4 to 6 weeks or even sooner. At this stage, only really back below 4 pence on an end-of-day close basis would question the ongoing breakout or recovery scenario at this situation. Speaking of recovery scenarios, there'll probably be a lot of people hoping that EVR Holdings is finally going to behave itself and be a bullish situation once again. Situation now is that we've got a good end of week move above the 50-day moving average at 4.12 pence, and at least while we're above that, looking for a retest of post-January resistance up towards 5.8, 5.9 pence for the shares over the next few weeks. So a nice little setup there. Gfinity, one of the COVID winners, let's say, with as many online stocks have been. We had the full storm and a rather vicious bull trap for the stock at the end of last month after a nice climb. The shares, I suppose, multi-bagged from the March low. Having another go here, so maybe end of week close above 1.3 above the 50-day moving average should be enough to give us a retest of post-January resistance at 2.5 pence, and obviously the stop loss at this stage back below a penny, so nicely set up there. IQAI is the next situation. Here you can see that the shares also toying with their 50-day moving average, so looking for a weekly close either this week or next week above 2.5 pence to cement the 2.9 pence to cement the idea of recovery here. And if we can do that, then the target would be back towards the 50-day moving average and post-January resistance near to the 5 pence area. We've already, in some ways, broken out with the break above that resistance line there around 2.7 pence. So looking reasonably constructive, even though today there's been a bit of a bull trap above the 50-day line. On to Jubilee Metals, and here I believe the stock or the company announced that it's coming out of lockdown, so production back on track. Here we had a triangle break through 2.5 pence, and above that looking for a retest or a return to former December through to February support in the 3.5 to 4 pence area. If you're cautious on the shares, maybe wait for an end of day or end of week close above the 50-day moving average at 3.1 pence. Modern Water, a stock which gets incessant chit-chat on Twitter, people sort of willing it up, maybe finally getting it right here. We had the full storm move through the 50-day moving average last month. This time it looks rather better in terms of where we are. So at least above 0.9 pence and that late March peak, looking for a return to 1.5 pence, which is post-November resistance, only back below the 50-day line at 0.68, really hurting the idea of ongoing recovery. Pharma stocks of all shapes and sizes have obviously benefited from the COVID experience. One of the stocks which came back quite a long way after having a good summer is Occhio Pharma. But here we've broken this triangle, gapped up through the 50-day line, and then gapped up again through late March resistance, or March resistance at 2 pence. While we're above 2 pence, looking for, I suppose, really that initial December resistance, 3.5 to 4 pence as the target. Obviously not a very liquid stock, but at least the charting message is there. One of the more encouraging stocks of the day to date is Pathfinder Minerals, a company that I interviewed a few days back. 50-day moving average is there at the moment, where the stock is currently rising through. End of week close above that, and we can see the shares back at 1 to 1.2 pence, up towards the 200-day moving average. Stop loss back below 0.5 pence. It's quite critical that we don't go back below that particular level, former resistance becoming new support. Finishing off with RMS, which is remote monitored systems. Again, a lot of chat about this situation. Shares in a range between the 50 and 200-day moving averages. I probably prefer to wait for an end of day or end of week close above the 200-day line at 0.42 to then start getting too excited about this situation. But it does look well poised given the as yet unfilled gap through the 50-day line at 0.23 pence. So therefore, above the 200-day moving average, we would be looking for 0.9 pence rather, which is the top of a broadening triangle from last July. That's it from me. More updates in the Bulletin Board Heroes on Monday.
Thank you for listening. Remember to visit our website for more news and other podcasts at www.share-talk.com.